Welcome to another episode of Short Stories You Should Read. Today, it's Royal Jelly by Roald Dahl. Don't worry, no spoilers here, just inspiration for your next reading adventure. We all know Roald Dahl for his wildly popular children's books, and anyone who's read stories like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or The Twits will know how deliciously dark and strange his writing can be. But you're not a kid anymore. If you really want to dive deeper into the weirder, more troubling side of Dahl's imagination, you need to try some of his short stories for adults. These tales of the unexpected often tap into uniquely adult concerns, unhappy marriages, sexual hang-ups, or parental anxiety, for example, and spin out gleefully strange scenarios across these everyday backdrops. The payoffs often come on the last page, sometimes in the last sentence, and are always satisfying in complex ways, lingering on the palate like a strong coffee with an extra bitter aftertaste. Now for a taste of royal jelly. "It worries me to death, Albert. It really does," Mrs. Taylor said. She kept her eyes fixed on the baby, who was now lying absolutely motionless in the crook of her left arm. "I just know there's something wrong." The skin on the baby's face had a pearly, translucent quality and was stretched very tightly over the bones. Roald Dahl has a strong sense of the physical, able to describe human bodies and faces in ways which get to the heart of our anxieties and repulsions. You don't have to be a parent to be haunted by the description of what Albert Taylor sees when he looks at his newborn daughter, who is steadfastly refusing to feed. When she had opened her eyes at the beginning of the feed, he had gazed into them and seen something that frightened him to death. A kind of misty, vacant stare, as though the eyes themselves were not connected to the brain at all, but were just lying loose in their sockets, like a couple of small grey marbles. Dahl was also interested in obsessives and eccentrics, people beavering away on strange private projects in the background. Much like himself and his famous writing shed at the end of the garden, Albert Taylor doesn't quite have the grand vision of Willy Wonka, but he certainly has been up to something. All his life, Albert Taylor had been fascinated by anything that had to do with bees. As a small boy, he used often to catch them in his bare hands and go running with them into the house to show his mother, and sometimes he would put them on his face and let them crawl about over his cheeks and neck, and the astonishing thing about it all was that he never got stung. On the contrary, the bees seemed to enjoy being with him. They never tried to fly away, and to get rid of them, he would have to brush them off gently with his fingers. Even then they would frequently return and settle again on his arm or hand or knee, any place where the skin was bare. Soon the baby does begin to feed properly. At first the mother, Mabel Taylor, is delighted and grateful for the turnaround. Albert's a hero. But then she becomes uneasy. What exactly has he done? The answer is packaged up in a classic Roald Dahl ending, designed to make you smile and shiver all at once. As the author Anthony Horowitz wrote, Dahl builds a bridge between young and adult fiction. He finds the child in the adult and the adult in the child, and, with a little smile, he sticks the knife in both. Have you read Royal Jelly? Track it down, experience it for yourself, and let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to The Portly Raven for even more short stories you should read.